Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Buddy Study Group. And today I think it's time for one of our, I would call it regular presentations, one of our favorites, one of my favorites to do because I can brag about you guys and what you all are doing out there in the world of long-term care planning. And that's working with referral partners. And I think this is probably the number one way that what you do each and every day can really begin to pay dividends for your business outside of working directly with the clients you're already working with. So, referral partners, I think, first and foremost, why do we look for them? I think that answer is quite obvious. We are really trying to expand our reach at the end of the day. I call referral partners the lifeblood of your business, your practice, because the more full your calendar is, regardless of your ratios, your ability to close people, the more income opportunities you have at the end of the day. Of course, it is our job to make sure that we are able to do a good job with the clients we receive from referral partners, but they really are what keeps things going. There's only so much that we can do from our own sort of innate marketing and prospecting, right? I know when I started in the business at Northwestern Mutual, a captive company, I had to work off of just my friends and family leads, or maybe some people that I used to work with. And it's not a fun experience trying to make an entire practice out of just prospecting those close to you and then going several spheres beyond that. So referral partners are a way to get introduced not just to professionals who will send you leads, right? It is also a way for you to be able to do more for your clients and potentially send referrals in the other direction. I think that's the currency that keeps referral partnerships healthy at the end of the day. So in that respect, we do want to keep our circle relatively small per industry, right? Kind of an I have a guy, I have someone sort of scenario where for each and every sort of layer of planning your clients may have, it's good to have a referral partner. Um, because that just adds to the value that you provide your existing clients at the end of the day. If there are leads going back and forth, that referral partnership is much more likely to succeed. But long-term care is just a super good industry to be able to find referral partners in general. I think reason number one is because working in long-term care is quite difficult. It is certainly a full-time job, or at the very least, it dominates your time. And there are plenty of people, plenty of professionals out there who advocate for long-term care planning, but they can't necessarily put in the time that's required to create good outcomes. Uh, and there are a number of things required in that sort of scenario. Even if you have a back office doing your case management or a BGA doing your case management on long-term care cases, you still have to be involved and you still have to be the client-facing person to help cases get all the way through from submission to delivery. That can be a lot of work depending on the case. Underwriting is probably the biggest one. Um, I find that there are folks in all corners of the insurance and financial services industry who, again, understand long-term care, understand insurance, understand financial vehicles, and do lots of planning discussions with their clients around those. But when it comes to underwriting, many folks are not comfortable getting into those nitty-gritty health questions. And it generally shows in the meetings that they have where maybe they've tried to bring it up. I've spoken to many financial professionals that I have sort of brought into our umbrella to refer business to long-term care specialists because um, they come to me and say, plain and simply, I cannot close long-term care. If you give me anything else, IRAs, index funds, ETF, you know, property and casualty, I could close people on a house before I could close them on long-term care. That kind of person is somebody that you want to look out for. That's the right type of referral partner because they understand the value of what you do, but also they have the humility to admit what they are not good at. They understand that it needs a specialist, and they are very open to teaching. That's one of the things we're going to cover on the call today is just how do we actually train our referral partners to refer business to us. It shouldn't just be um, plain and simply a cold handoff, right? I think with any relationship, any referral to somebody that you don't know, you're going to want that referral to be warm and you're going to want your referral partner to be able to communicate what the content of your discussion is and why they're sending them to you. So I think long-term care is largely a specialist game. Um, so you need to find folks who understand that. And um, at the end of the day, I think there are a lot of people, myself included, who prefer to have a close kind of cabinet of experts, right? So if you need something with life insurance, I got a life insurance person. I got a DI person. Long-term care, I got a long-term care person. Financial advisor, I'm connected to, financial planners, right? So I think those are kind of the key things to listen for when you're out there talking to professionals about what you do for a living, right? Somebody may be describing themselves as a referral partner for you, and they might not even know that they're doing it. So, I think in being able to identify a good referral partner, in being able to show your value you can feel more comfortable networking, right? I think that's really something I hear a lot. I'm not the greatest networker. I don't do well at networking functions, and I think the biggest piece of having success there is knowing what you are trying to accomplish, knowing who the audience is and knowing the value that you bring to them and what to listen for to essentially identify somebody as a good candidate to use your services. So I want you guys to be comfortable networking and I want you guys to understand your value because I have um, onboarded, brought on tons of referral partners over the last 5, 6 years. And I have seen a lot of those partnerships through to, successful outcomes. And what I hear on the back end after that experience, of course, largely in part due to just the excellence of the specialists that I have matched people up with. Um, it illustrates to me that there are plenty of people out there that can use you all, and I want you to feel um, powerful and valuable enough to go out there and put it out there. So when we're talking about referral partners, you guys probably know my number one. I bring this up a lot, but it is financial advisors, easily the best pairing for long-term care specialists in general in both directions, right? Because as we are um, looking for qualified prospects, one of the biggest things that we look for is are they financially qualified? Are there assets to protect? Um, Obviously, we have empathy for these folks, but when we get a lead And it is somebody that we cannot do much planning with because financially they just can't afford a plan. It really stinks. You always want to be able to give somebody who needs help good advice, but at the end of the day, it is a bit of an inefficient use of time. Getting on a call with somebody, setting everything up for a discussion and finding out that you know, the case would not even be able to get out of the gates. So financial advisors are obviously working with financially qualified people or people who will be on their way to that. So at least on that end, those folks will be good candidates. And I think financial advisors also help you cut down on a lot of the fact finding financially. The advisor is going to know basically everything about the client's financial picture if they have that very strong relationship with each of their clients. I think a lot of the fee only planners, especially, but also CFPs and even down the line, they work with their clients on nearly every financial aspect of their life, and the affinity there is tremendous, right? I mean, if you take people's entire financial plans into your hands and get them where they want to go, there's an immense amount of trust there, which means there's an immense amount of warmth in the referral. My advisor has introduced me to somebody, well, I am going to take that very seriously because my advisor has really taken my financial life to the next level in a lot of ways, right? So some of the warmest, well-qualified handoffs, and if you work closely with the advisor, they can really help you with the fact-finding side, and you can have a good picture of the financials without having to dive through tons of questions. It'll more or less be just confirming things. I think advisors, again, often work with experts if they are not an expert, and it's a trusted experts that aren't going to poach their clients in any way, shape, or form. They're just going to play their part in augmenting their client's financial plan. So they are looking for folks in every sort of corner of finance where they don't have a major necessarily. And of course, financial advisors can also be a huge blocker to long-term care planning because everybody's gotten that my financial advisor thinks I should self-fund my long-term care or doesn't think I should buy a long-term care plan, whatever it may be. And that trust works in the opposite direction. It works against you. So if you can win that advisor over by educating them about how it's in their best interest to get their clients involved with long-term care planning so that extended care events don't drain their assets under management, that creates a really, really strong affinity. There's just so much synergy between asset building, financial planning, and the asset protection that long-term care insurance and long-term care planning provides. So, for many, many reasons, financial advisors are generally that best match. And because these folks are planning in so many ways with their clients, they don't have time to deep dive on long-term care in the way that you do. So, if they're in the interest of offering the best service, generally they are going to want to be surrounded with specialists. So I also think just other financial professionals, especially other insurance professionals, are a really good source of referral partners as well. Again, you will find that there are probably more life insurance people looking to work with a long-term care specialist than the other way around because long-term care is just that much more difficult to work in, at least from the perception of others. Um, they understand the insurance process. They understand how to do that handoff. The client has likely gone through some form of fact-finding, underwriting, and the new business process from the client perspective. So somebody who's kind of familiar to that picture and has had a good experience as well. Um, they are much more easily trainable with some background insurance experience as well. Again, having people on their team is just a better look to their clients. Being able to say, I have someone for that is a big deal. And there's big reciprocity potential with referrals, right? If they work in a line of business that you don't work in and you can identify clients for their business and send that warm handoff their way, that can be a really large flow of leads potentially passing back and forth. So I think other insurance professionals, especially those that don't deal a lot with underwriting, um, again, you will have to be able to work with the agent themselves that you're going to be partnering with to help train them a bit on who are the right clients. But P&C agents can be a good source of referrals, more on a volume play than quality play, because a lot of what they deal with in the P&C world is either compulsory or just kind of a cultural norm to look into. You get a house, homeowners insurance. You get caught without car insurance, you get in a good bit of trouble, right? So those are easier to close sorts of cases. And if we're doing product comparison, it is largely on price for the same exact benefits. So you will have to do some training with them on how is long-term care different. But because so many people interface with P&C products, potentially, multiple times throughout their kind of client life cycle, it can be a really good volume play, and it could be, again, another relationship that has a lot of trust. If this professional helps me insure my home, my car, my boat, whatever else there may be, I will trust who they have to refer me to for long-term care planning. I'll trust them when they say it's important. And again, they're not going to dive as deep, but appreciate somebody on their team who will. So I think those are the biggest referral partner sources. Anybody else have any good referral partner relationships that have worked for them just from a professional to professional standpoint? Anybody have any they'd like to point out that have worked particularly well for them? On the group side, I will add that benefits brokers in general tend to be really, really good relationships. But even if you just work on the individual side, that can be a really good referral partnership to set up with as well. Individually filed products can still be used in the group setting, but also for true group products, group filed products, not everybody is going to be able to get a plan for all groups across the country. Maybe it's just a small business of, say, 1 to 2 people. Maybe it's a self-employed person. Um, Maybe somebody is in their mid 70s and the plan that their group was offered cuts off the long-term care benefit at age 70. There are folks, um, the group filed products are very good at kind of um, being able to offer a plan to everybody in a group, but it is not always one size fits all. So those folks are good candidates for individual planning. I had a meeting just like that today, where there is a potential for somebody to do individual planning because the group product that they're being offered doesn't have long-term care benefit attached to it because of age limitations. Diane says, my hairstylist knows her clients who has money, health concerns, and family matters. I think that's a really good one. It's not one that I would readily think of off the top of my head. But you're right. Everybody tends to have a really good relationship and with the folks who cut their hair. I feel that way with my barber. We know a lot about each other. Um, and if all these folks are doing are having conversations about how's life, how's your family, when they are sitting down for their haircut. I think that's a pretty good source, and I would never rule anything out. I think folks who are advocates for long-term care make good referral partners regardless. Um, but at the end of the day, um, I'm trying to kind of give you the obvious ones. But yeah, don't rule anything out. There are plenty of folks out there who could help be a good referral partner for you if they know what you do and understand how you can help people. Definitely. Um, and I think just given those audiences, I think folks can go to conferences sometimes and say, well, I don't really know what to do when I'm at these conferences. I don't know who I should be talking to or who I should target. These are the ideas that I'm trying to give you. There are folks out there who are looking for you at the end of the day. Um, so definitely do some research ahead of time when you go to conferences. Nowadays, every conference has an app, and everybody signs up on that app with their information. You can get a full list of names of who's at this conference and what do they do and what company do they do it for. And there's lots of independent folks. So just start conversations. And I promise you, it is going to be the same as closing clients. You will attempt to make some connections. You'll attempt to make a large amount of connections. Some will book a meeting with you. Some won't show up or will get busy. Some will have a conversation with you and it's not a good fit. And a small portion of that could end up being referral partners, and that is worth the work involved. But let's say you have a referral partner and you are trying to make the most of the relationship. Um, it is really important that when you're bringing on a new referral partner, you sit down and have a decently long game planning call. How is this back and forth passing of clients going to work? Um, how can you best set up your referral partner for success by starting the conversation and getting the client to understand that what your referral partner does is a valuable piece to their plan that they haven't accomplished yet? And conversely, how can that referral partner help set you up for success with that warm handoff? I know Linda Tallheimer gives uh, a session for our study group quite often, at least yearly, about working with financial advisors, and she shares how she does it. She just records a quick 5-minute video for clients so that the financial advisor doesn't even have to worry about necessarily knowing enough to be dangerous. They just have to be able to explain why long-term care planning is important, why they trust Linda, and then put the laptop on the table and play the 5-minute video and say, I want you to watch this video. After this, I'm going to be passing your information to Linda and she's going to be reaching out to you, right? Just the power of that. There's power in it in a couple of ways. Number one, that one video is creating all of that pre-education for clients, um, so that they are not completely in the dark. I think referral partners are great, but if you're just getting really, really cold leads, that aren't pre-educated on long-term care, it's really a lot of work to make something of it when just a tiny bit of work like saying, I really trust Linda. Here, watch a 5-minute video. I'm going to have her reach out to you. They've already seen your face. They already know what you do. They have a great idea about what you're going to talk about. And for the advisor, it is very easy and very turnkey to make that introduction, right? Oh, just remember to introduce Linda and put the laptop on the table and play the video, right? If it is easy for your referral partner to make referrals to you, the more often you will get them and the more often that referral will be made with the energy behind it needed because they don't have to worry about knowing product or being a long-term care specialist. They just need to know that they can easily refer someone to you. I also think it's important when you're training your referral partner that, and again, this kind of depends on the trust you have with the referral partner, but you have to train them about who the right clients are and not just to refer the people who ask, especially in long-term care. You all know as well as I do that if we're just referring the people who ask about long-term care, it is a higher likelihood that you're going to be sent referrals from people who really want long-term care because they are going to have a lot of trouble getting it, right? So it kind of creates a little bit of adverse selection. And lead flow is good, but we want to make sure it's quality lead flow. So give them some guidance as to the right time to bring this up with clients, the right clients to bring it up to, who are the good candidates for this type of planning. And from there, you start to get more warm referrals, a trust transfer that really gets you past square one before you've met with the client, and a higher probability chance that you are going to be able to create a good outcome for this person and perhaps generate more referrals from there, right? I think that's a big deal. And I also think it makes you more referable when you have these referral partners who you can refer in the other direction business to, right? It's your value of being connected to a team of folks to be able to help with anything, right? I didn't talk about reverse mortgage specialists, but that's another really, really good referral source, in my mind, because there is some sort of tangential planning that you can do, but reverse mortgages require an expert, long-term care insurance require an expert. Um, Long-term care insurance needs funding. Reverse mortgages are generally done to generate funding, generate that sort of income that can be used for a number of necessities. Um, but it is all down to how you train people. And I think giving even webinars for your referral partners or meeting regularly with your referral partners um, can really help to educate and train them. And if you have a newsletter where you're kind of keeping track of, industry news, they may not read it, but it's nice to have them hooked up to that. That demonstrates that, hey, I am connected to somebody who is very plugged in and they help me stay plugged in as much as I possibly can be. I also think the quality of your reporting is going to determine how satisfied your referral partner is with the relationship. I think it's one of the most important things outside of training them for the right people to look for and to refer to you. Um, you don't want your referral partner to feel like they refer you business and it just goes down a well. Even if things are going swimmingly with this client, no visibility is almost as bad as having visibility and what you see being negative. Truly. Feeling like you're in the dark is no good when you have handed off somebody who's important to you and important to your business. Um, and that just creates a lot of anxiety and erodes the trust faster than anything. So if you can figure out a way to really streamline your reporting, that's something that we do at Buddy INS quite a bit, um, with a few of our tech tools and our CRM to be able to send out a report to referral partners. Here's everybody you've referred to us. Here's the specialist they're working with. Here is where the case is in the sales cycle, and here are the notes on the case. That is a huge, huge deal. Because at any moment, that client could be going into your referral partner's office for another matter. And if they don't know what's going on with the case, they're going to feel like they're caught with their pants down a little bit. They're going to feel like they're not into the conversation as much as they should be and haven't done enough vetting, right? So if you can kind of take that work off of their plate and give them that peace of mind, you are sure to get more referrals than the person who kind of just provides radio silence. So I think that's a simple thing that you can do to really take the relationship to the next level is reporting. Even if you send out an email based on a referral that was given, just to say, hey, I wanted to send you an email to let you know there was no updates on the case, right? Um, Also, your reporting helps your referral partner to help you, right? So if the report that you send to your referral partners indicates that you've called the client 3 times and they haven't picked up, that referral partner who has more trust can call that client and say, hey, remember I referred you to Diane a week or two ago? She's called you a few times and hasn't heard back. Can you just return her call as soon as you can? Or is there a reason that you don't want to talk? Should I pause this? They can help bring resolution to these cases. They can help give that extra couple of inches of push a case needs to be able to move to the next step. And we all appreciate that, right? I mean, cases being stuck in limbo is probably the worst feeling imaginable. So I hope so far this has been helpful. And oh, just to add to that reporting piece, I think an intake form can really help you a lot as well. Even something as simple as a jot form can really help. If your referral partner is willing to sit down with a client and fill out that intake form directly, that's kind of another consent step. That's another fact-finding assistance. Or even if the referral partner leaves the client with the form to fill out and sends their information your way, that's a big deal because that gets the information potentially right into your CRM and gets you started on that habit of good reporting and really helps you track everything, including if you have multiple referral partners, okay, who is this client from, right? So the better your record keeping is, the more impressive of a referral partner you'll be outside of all the things that you do for the client. So in meeting more referral partners, I talked about networking events a bit. I talked about conferences a bit. Just the most important thing is to just put yourself out there. Nobody knows what the outcome is going to be of any given conversation, but if you go in there with an objective, even if a conference wasn't as successful as you'd like, with maybe bringing in a referral partner or two in a given area, if you go there with kind of a target, you can evaluate how successful that conference was and choose not to go the next year. We go to conferences all the time, the Buddy INS team. Um, Pretty much every one of us on the leadership team and beyond, we are going to conferences multiple times a year, and we may report back after we go to a conference with an objective. Hey, this wasn't a very successful venture, wasn't a good use of our time. We take it off the calendar, or we send somebody different who might be able to accomplish a little more at that conference. But LinkedIn is another huge one, and social media in general. I think one of the major reasons that we have so many referral partners at Buddy INS is not only because we work with a lot of talented people who can really bring good outcomes to clients, but also have you seen Mark's LinkedIn? I mean, the guy is constantly capped at connections to the point where he has to audit his connection list. And that doesn't necessarily just mean that Mark is well known in the industry. It also means that Mark is casting a very wide net and he's doing very pointed searches for the right people in his network and putting out consistent, valuable content to attract the right people for referral partnerships. I think I'm not going to sit here and say your recipe to success is to post 6 times on LinkedIn in one day. Depending on your network, that could have the opposite effect. But I would say if you if you can, and you're trying to attract more referral partners, just try to do a post a week if you're not, or even just commenting on, um, you know, posts that really resonate with you from professionals out there, or um, try to step up adding connections on LinkedIn or other social media and put content out there that is really going to demonstrate who you are as a professional. And this can be educational content that people can absorb, find really useful, and never work with you again, right? But that could, with enough sustained effort, attract the right people to be your referral partners. Because again, guys, this is about having a calendar that is as full as possible with as high quality of prospects as possible. And you can be the best prospector in the world, but I think without good referral partners, it is really hard to kind of break through that ceiling of being as busy as you would like at the end of the day. Yes, Chris is very active on LinkedIn. Um, let's see, best posts are my risk posts and the ones comparing a long bike ride to risks. Exactly. And it doesn't need to be stiff. Like Chris is saying, he's kind of mixing his um personal and professional interests, right? I think part of being able to attract referral partners is people being able to see, hey, this is a good person, right? The reason I go out to conferences and people are like, oh, I know you from the internet, and it kind of feels like somebody I already know, even if I haven't met them yet, is because I'm just on this study group running my mouth twice a week, right? And with the occasional industry guest, people have seen enough of me to know that I can be trusted. And that goes for Gretchen, that goes for Mark as well. And that's why a lot of connections come our way because we are just regularly in front of people. So if you don't have a way to regularly be in front of people, either by text or by video, by audio, whatever it may be, maybe consider it. You don't have to, um, you know, come right out of the gate with, I am going to do something regular 4 days a week. I think if it's not something that's comfortable to you, rig the rules of the game so that you can win no matter what and get yourself out there more than you have been before. I think that is really the strategy if you're starting from not a lot of networking presence or social media presence in general. You don't have to be an influencer, but you have to be out there to be heard and seen in some way, I think. Hey,
Yeah.
Gretchen, speaking of being heard and seen in some way, the person who makes sure our company
I
is heard and seen in some way.
I heard. Yeah. Um, yeah, what I would say, I totally agree with what you're saying, Jason, about just putting yourself out there and don't worry about posting every day. I think the most important thing is being authentic. Chris has posted a couple things couple examples of what he has done. And yeah, I think that anytime you have a story and a way to connect with people, social media can be the great equalizer. You're just speaking to your audience first. Whoever you are affiliated with, connected to on whether it's LinkedIn or if you're looking for like a business sort of relationship partnership, LinkedIn is great. But Facebook is also great just to get that awareness of your circle of people that this is your jam. So you know long-term care insurance, you want to help them with their long-term care plan. You want to keep it, like I said, keep it authentic, provide stories, all of that. And don't worry so much about, oh, I got to post every day, because that's when you stop being authentic and you start sort of becoming like just cookie cutter. So make it interesting. Give them information that will help them if it's perceived that you're helpful, and that you're providing information that will benefit them. People will respond to that.
Yeah, and I totally agree about the great equalizer comment, right? It's not about naming your business A1 long-term care to be the first result in your local phone book. It is now more than ever kind of a nationwide, even global reach that is the potential, right? And you can work with anybody across the country, provided that you're licensed in their state. So putting yourself out there magnifies your voice more than it ever has. And I think with that comes, I I don't want it, it comes with less of an insistence on formality. Obviously, this is a
Yeah.
formal study group, but I am not here in a three-piece suit and tie and manicuring every single word I'm saying. I'm trying to do this as me, right? And I think that's what you should take with you. There is less of an insistence on being incredibly formal, and there's more of an insistence on being yourself, being
Mhm.
relatable, and reviews and word of mouth of how the experience is when people work with you speaks for itself because everybody else has the same size microphone, right? And if you are good, word will get out.
Um,
So,
can I mention something else real quick,
yeah,
Jason?
yeah.
Um, uh, if you look at what we do, what Buddy does as far as like social media, we rely, like Jason said, we rely on Mark's LinkedIn presence to carry that message. We don't post a lot on our corporate page. We push through Mark because he has the biggest audience. Um, and then on Facebook, we lean into the Facebook group, because then we're able to, as professionals, we're able to post and share different stories and share, if somebody's looking for help on a case, we can do that without involving the general public. So that's our strategy. Will it change? Yes. We have plans for 2027 to expand social media. But yeah, that's where it sits right now. If you're wondering why you don't see a lot from Buddy directly, that's why.
Pick what media works best for you,
Yeah.
as far as number one, how you like to engage with people, and number two, where your audience is. Um, I am definitely not the loudest on LinkedIn. It's more like a flag on my mailbox that says I'm here. Uh, I do have a lot of conversations on LinkedIn with people who connect with me. But for the most part, I like addressing people and putting myself out there through this
Hey.
study group and communications that follow it, right? Um, could I do more LinkedIn? Of course. Who
Jason,
couldn't?
if you ever posted on LinkedIn, I think everybody in our channel would like click into it.
And you know what? Sometimes it's like the quieter you are when you do speak up, people take notice. I
True.
think a lot of the time it's to thank people for the great experiences I have with them at conferences and share pictures and things of
All
that
good.
nature.
Yep.
But otherwise, I'm here. I'm talking to people, a couple hours every week, and I encourage you to figure out what works best for you. If you are comfortable with the way you message with people, you will. you will attract
Mhm.
people, um,
For sure.
because you become that much more relatable, and people can sniff out from a mile away when you just have the idea of the sale just resting in the back of your skull and it's all you can think about. It tightens you up, right? When it feels forced, uh, people can tell, right? So
Yeah, and the other thing I like that isn't social media related, and we have Diane. Diane does a Friday email every Friday without fail. We have another specialist who does Monday. I think it's every other week, I think is what he said last time we talked. He does a Monday thing, like a Monday funny thing.
comic
Uh,
strip.
so yeah, all of that serves to push who you are and what you're doing.
Yeah. That's all I got for you folks. A lot of this was just to, again, kind of remind you about your best pairings, but of course, to remind you of the value that you have to others. It's immense. Just speaking to lots of folks from all sorts of financial sectors or um, beyond. It's amazing the impact that you all can have. I want you to be aware of it, and I want you to use that as your fuel to go out and meet folks. And hopefully, you picked up a few good ideas on maybe who to target and how to put yourself out there, where to go, and then what to do when you have somebody who's interested, because it's only as good as the commitment to building that relationship and training each other, and both sides getting better too. So,
One more thing, really
yes.
important.
Hmm.
Patty, I owe you your t-shirt. I'm sorry. I will send it out this week. I saw you. I'm like, oh, I gotta send Patty your t-shirt.
No problem.
Well, now that Patty knows she's going to be getting her t-shirt, I think I think that's all I've got. Thank you all for being here. Let us know if there's anything we can ever help you with. Be well, and we'll talk to you this time next week.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao.
Hi, guys.